This is not self-help. This is healing. Body, nervous system, wholeness. Energy medicine, Ayurveda-inspired living, herbal wisdom. Learn, heal, and be together. Wholeness isn't fixing, it's integrating. Evolve Global 22's Healing Light Studio. Understanding begins here. Healing happens here. Wholeness lives within you. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Debbie with Evolve Global 22's Healing Circle. This is a new week and a new beginning. So today is week 4, day 1. We've almost completed a month. Welcome to the Healing Circle. I'm really glad that you're here tonight. As you arrive, there is nothing you need to fix or prepare. Just being here is enough. This week, my friends, we are talking about repair, not as something we do after things fall apart, but as something that allows us to stay connected to ourselves, to each other, and to life. Repair isn't about being okay. It's about not leaving. Tonight, we're holding the conversation through a specific lens, one that comes from The Science of the Sacred by Nicole Redvers, particularly Chapter 10, The Natural Astronomist. In Chapter 10, Nicole Redvers describes the role of the natural astronomist, a way of knowing that doesn't rush meaning or demand immediate answers. The natural astronomist is not focused on single events. They observe patterns over time. They watch cycles. They notice rhythm. They stay present long enough to understand what's unfolding instead of reacting to one moment in isolation. This chapter reminds us that wisdom doesn't come from urgency. It comes from relationship, attention, and continuity. Repair works the same way. Now, over the past few weeks, we've been preparing for this. In week 1, we talked about support before insight, how the body can't integrate understanding without steadiness. In week 2, we explored small, consistent supports and how trust is built gradually, not through intensity. Then last week in week 3, we practiced listening without fixing, allowing experience to speak without trying to control it. The natural astronomist would recognize all of this because you can't see patterns if you don't stay. You can't notice cycles if you keep leaving. And you can't repair if you're only reacting to moments instead of observing relationships over time. Our core teaching this week is repair as staying. Repair begins the moment we choose not to disappear from ourselves or from each other. For many of us, the learned response isn't conflict, it's withdrawal. We leave conversations, we leave relationships, we leave our own bodies. Sometimes we leave dramatically. Sometimes we leave quietly. Sometimes we leave by saying, I'm fine, when we're really not. The natural astronomist would notice this pattern, not to judge it, but to understand it. Repair, my friends, is the moment we interrupt that pattern by staying. And as always, learning point number 1, repair is presence, not performance. The natural astronomist doesn't perform certainty. They don't pretend to understand the sky before they do. They observe. Repair works the same way. Repair does not require the right words, the right tone, the right emotional state. It requires presence. When we perform calm or understanding, we often disconnect from what's real. Presence allows honesty, even when honesty is unfinished or awkward. Ask yourself this question: where have I been performing being okay instead of staying present long enough to notice what's actually happening? Learning point number 2: staying matters more than saying it right. The natural astronomist understands that meaning doesn't come from one clear night. It comes from many nights of watching. Connection works the same way. Staying matters more than saying it right. Relationships survive awkwardness, they rarely survive disappearance. Repair doesn't require perfection, it requires continuity. Ask yourself this: where might staying matter more than getting it right in my life? Learning point number 3: repair happens over time, not in just one single moment. Chapter 10 reminds us that patterns only become visible over time. Repair is not a speech, it's a pattern of return. Small amounts of staying repeated are what changes a system. The natural astronomist doesn't demand clarity from one observation. They allow meaning to emerge through repetition. Ask yourself this: what pattern do I notice when I look at my relationships over time instead of judging a single moment? Learning point number 4: repair, my friends, is relational, not solitary. Indigenous astronomy, as Redvers describes, is never separate from land, people, or community. It's relational. Repair is the same. Healing does not happen in isolation. Repair happens between people and between different parts of ourselves. The natural astronomist is always in relationship with what they're observing. Ask yourself this: where might healing be asking me to stay in relationship instead of pulling me away? Learning point number 5: repair builds trust through rhythm. Let me say this one again, it's so important. Repair builds trust through rhythm. The sky becomes trustworthy because it moves in rhythm. The seasons return. The cycles repeat. Repair builds trust the same way, through reliable return, not perfection. When staying becomes the norm, the nervous system learns that connection can survive disruption. Ask yourself this question: what rhythm of return would build trust in my life right now? Now, repair might look like staying in one room instead of leaving, returning to a conversation late instead of avoiding it, noticing tension and choosing not to numb or explain it away. There are acts of observation and presence, exactly what the natural astronomist practices. They don't rush the sky, they don't force meaning, they stay. My friends, in energy medicine, repair gathers scattered energy back into coherence through presence. In Ayurveda inspired living, repair restores rhythm and continuity rather than forcing balance. In herbal wisdom, healing unfolds through gentle, repeated support, not urgency. The natural astronomist would recognize all three. Healing happens through relationship, rhythm, and time. This matters, my friends, because when we leave too quickly, patterns repeat unconsciously. When we stay, patterns become visible and choice becomes possible. The natural astronomist teaches us that wisdom comes from staying present long enough to see the larger pattern. Repair always, long day. Repair allows us to live in rhythm with ourselves and with others instead of reacting to every moment as if it's the whole story. Now, as always, I have our 5 reflection and journal questions for tonight. If you have not started journaling, start by just one day a week for 5 or 10 minutes. It's so important. Journaling is the one best tool that I know of to get to the essence and the inner you. Number 1, where have I been performing being okay instead of staying present long enough to notice what's actually happening? Number 2, where in my life might staying matter more than getting it right? Number 3, what patterns do I notice when I look at my relationships over time instead of judging a single moment? And number 4, where might healing be asking me to stay in relationship instead of pulling away? And 5, what rhythm of return would help build trust in my life right now? My friends, repair doesn't require readiness or perfection. It requires staying. I appreciate you being here with me tonight, and thank you for staying. Now, the Healing Circle, and this is the free version, is the heart of Evolve Global 22, a steady, ongoing space for gentle support in real life. It began as a founding space, and it became clear that it was meant to stay accessible, affordable, and consistent. The free live streams and replays and even live shopping help keep this circle open for people who need it. If this work supports you and you'd like to stay connected more deeply and gain more resources and more support from me and our community, then the Evolve Global 22 Healing Circle on Patreon is for you, and it's always open. It's only $7.99 a month. And I want you to remember, my friends, healing lives here, wholeness lives within you. Peace, love, and light to every single one of you. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.